Hello and welcome to Swapping Joysticks. Yeah. It is Wednesday, the 18th of January, 2023. Have you started putting things in the right date yet?
I don't really use dates.
No, that's true. So welcome. Yeah, this is Swapping Joysticks, your home of LGBTQIA plus gaming, streaming, and just talking about whatever we feel like content. I'm your host,
Sounds about right.
Big Gus Ben Gus, and I am joined, as always, by Ed Nightingale.
Evening.
Evening. How are you doing?
I'm alright.
Yeah?
I'm alright. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. I got a little bit of onion stuck in my tooth. Someone's gonna be like this all the time.
Lovely.
Save it for later.
Is that the pickled onion that you decided to eat alongside?
Yeah, I mean, you made me sausages and mashed potato, or crushed potato, and I was like, you've got to have onion with that.
A pickled onion.
I like pickled onions. Pickled onions are great. Spicy pickled onions are even better.
Ruin the flavour of the delicate, balanced meal that I create for you.
It was delicious. But yeah, welcome. Anybody that is new to the podcast, we tend to we'll talk to the chat a little bit, but obviously this goes out everywhere on iTunes, Apple
You
Podcasts.
say that every time.
Apple Podcast. Why would they change it? Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, everywhere like that. So if we don't read your message as soon as you post it, we might, and if it's added to the conversation, we might include it later. But yeah, just so you don't feel ignored. But yeah, we are. Oh, by the way, speaking of branding, as Molly just posted out there, look at this beautiful hoodie that all the podcast listeners are going to be able to definitely not see. Look at this.
Shall I describe it?
Do you want me to stand up?
You stand up and I'll describe it.
Okay, I have to move out the way a bit. Look how cool I am. Yeah. Oh, do I look cool?
Ben is currently wearing a basic pitch black hoodie with some shitty colour of Twitch on it and the words Kappa.
Kappa Kappa. I'm a Kappa slapper. Yeah, the back to did a 5-year-old paint it. It is Twitch had like a 40% off sale for hoodies, and I was like, I could really do with a hoodie. And this was actually the nicest one they did.
It's the way that you like, they've got a sale, so I have to buy something, as opposed to, no, this all looks terrible, I'm not going to waste my money.
It does say hey guys down there. It's really nice and warm. And it's everyone likes the feeling of like a new hoodie.
Yeah, and then you wash that, and then you'll never wear it again.
No. I'm trying to think of other ones that I've done that with. Yeah. This is just nice and big. But it is, yeah.
New hoodies are comfy. I'll give you that. No matter what it has on the outside.
Yeah. I'm helping the economy. I'm helping Jeff Bezos get his 8th yacht.
Because he needs that.
Yeah.
He really needs that. Poor guy.
Yeah. I give half the earnings and through Twitch to him, so I may as well give him some more for a nice hoodie. Ed's top looks comfy. I am, Gary. Thank you very much.
You're going to make that joke.
Yeah. But Ed, how has your week been?
My week has been alright. It's been pretty standard. Nothing major to report.
No?
To be
Oh, well, that
honest.
sounds like a boring week for you,
Yeah,
considering you
well,
are a
it's-
reporter.
Well, we'll get to the headlines. I'm
Okay.
not going to, ruin that at the start. But no, in I guess personal news, not a lot. To be honest,
What did we do at the weekend?
we
met friends.
we did meet friends. We met some lovely streaming friends.
We did.
And you streamed. I played some games.
Yeah, pretty much.
And we finished the Traitor.
Yes,
Traitors.
we did finish
Sorry.
the UK Traitors. And I went into that not wanting to enjoy it. I was like, yeah. Oh, I was like, the first episode, I was like,
so cool and you can't like something if it's popular.
I just don't like TV shows. So 95% of the time I'll watch a show and go, this is crap. I'm not enjoying it. But I watched it and was like, oh, I'll put it on in the background and stuff. But I got so invested. Like, only by the second episode, I was like, this is amazing. I need to watch more of it.
I watched the first with a friend because she described it to me and I thought, I've heard good things. I'm going to give this a go. And watched it with her and was like, this is great. I want to carry on watching it, but I feel like you might like it. So I described it to you as basically like Among Us as a TV show. And then by the second one, you were hooked.
Yeah.
And we were watching like 4 episodes in a night. to get through it.
Yeah, we did finish it quite quickly. It is so good. If anybody here has not seen the UK version of the Traitors, go and check it out. I know there's a US version, there's a French version, there's a Dutch version, but yeah, the UK one is like, they couldn't have written it better. I don't know how they managed to make it just so exciting until the very last minute as well. It was just perfect TV.
Yeah.
You know, if that doesn't win awards, then I'll be very surprised.
If you're not aware of it, basically it's a load of people that that stay in a mansion in the Scottish Highlands, and they have to complete tasks every day to add money to their prize fund. However, amongst them are 3 traitors.
Bum, bum, bum.
And every night, it's just like Among Us. Every night, or Werewolf or Mafia, if you played those. Every night, the traitors vote to kill someone who gets murdered overnight, and then the next day at the round table, everyone has to come together and vote off who they think is a traitor, but they might instead be a faithful, which are one of the non-traitors. Crewmates, yeah, doing their tasks. And it's just, what I think is great about it is the fact that you know from the beginning as viewers who the traitors are, and so you can then watch their like manipulation of everyone, and sort of understand their thought process of who are they going to like kill off, who are they going to try and persuade people to vote for, and see if they get away with it. It's just really, really fun viewing. But I do fear that this is going to be the only time they can do it, because people are now going to go onto it thinking they know how to play the game. The producers will have to like double cross them and try and trip them up with new ideas and twists. And so then it ends up just becoming overproduced and not great. So this is like the first season, well, in the UK at least, it's the first season. I think it's going to be the purest. It's like when Big Brother started, and like the first season was great, and then it just became like people who want to be celebrities. Yeah,
and Ninja Scholar says, I heard that we as a viewer didn't know who the traitors were. No, you do.
Because, we know.
Yeah, because obviously they're in between the tasks and stuff. They have the talking heads, and they have people giving their opinions and stuff. So I think it would be quite a short show if they didn't have that, because then you'd obviously know, because they often talk about how, you know, they're behaving as a traitor. And Sarah has been summoned by talk of a social strategy reality show. Honestly, Sarah, try the UK one. Somebody says that it works so well, especially in the UK, is that it forces nice people to do horrible things. And like that's a really uncomfortable thing for British people. Well, some British people to do. Because you want to be nice to everyone, but like if you are a traitor, the aim of the game is to stay there and steal the money from other lovely, lovely people who are your friends there. But then if you don't do that, then you're booted off and you get nothing. So like you have to do a horrible thing or you're out of the game. And that's one of the reasons why it's so successful in the UK. Because and it's weird because even I won't obviously not going to spoil in the slightest anything that happens in there. But even some of like the traitors, you're like, oh my god, I was watching it going like, oh god, I hope this person loses. I don't like this person. But then you feel kind of sorry for them at the same time, because you're like, well, what alternative do they have? They have to kind of deceive people, or they're out. There's no other option.
Both of us watching it, who we liked and who we didn't like, often changed.
Oh, it changed so many
from
times.
From episode to episode, I'd be like, I don't like this person, and then because they've worked it out, and I'm on the side of the traitors, and then actually it sort of flipped the other way, and I was like, oh wait, no, I don't like that person, and I want them to win instead. And in the UK version is hosted by Claudia Winkleman, who does...
Pointed at you.
Yeah, well, she presents, or one half of the presenting team of Strictly Come Dancing, which is our Dancing with the Stars. So she presents that on BBC, and she's just a great presenter. And with the Traitors, she gets really into it and really hams it up. And like she's the one who chooses the traitors and sort of controls the whole game and gets so into it. And she is just the perfect choice as a presenter.
But she's just so lovely to everybody as well. Even the traitors and stuff, they'll do something horrible and they'll feel bad, and she'll be like, come here, and like give a hug to them. It's just she's just a really nice person.
Yeah.
And from who we know that knows her, like she's apparently just a lovely person. So always nice when good things, Well, because this was advertised on Strictly, and they were like, "Oh, good luck, Claudia. Good luck with this," because it had started, I think, just after Strictly. And they showed like a big trailer of it during, and trying to promote it. And I was always like, "Oh, okay, no, that sounds interesting. Whatever, but I probably won't watch it." But hearing like and seeing people's comment being like, "This is the best reality TV that's happened in years." I can't think of reality TV that I've enjoyed that's like been as this kind of groundbreaking. Even something like The Apprentice and Dragon's Den, it was enjoyable for a little bit, but it just wasn't anywhere near this.
Yeah. It's on BBC, and I think like other reality shows tend to go a little bit trashy on like ITV or Channel 4. Whereas BBC, I feel like I do feel like they've done a good job of it. It doesn't have that like trashy trashy reality show kind of vibe to it, which I really like. I'm intrigued to see the US one potentially, but all I've seen is the clip of Alan, what's his face?
I was going to say Alan Bennett, but that's not him, is it?
No.
Or Alan Turing.
Definitely not Alan Turing.
No, Alan
thingy. Cummings.
That's it.
There we go.
How could you forget that?
How could I forget Cummings?
By the way, could you say thank you so much to Panda for the raid and the bits? That is so kind of you. Thank you so much, Panda.
Thank you.
Welcome everybody from there. This is Swapping Joysticks, your home of LGBTQIA plus gaming content with an annoying couple of hosts.
There you go.
Continue. Yeah.
Wow. It's Alan Cumming, and he's like introducing it, and he sounds just like Moira from Schitt's Creek.
He
has the weirdest accent. I don't know where that's come from.
Scottish. It's Scottish.
Well, I know, but it's got like a sort of American twang to it in a way. Like it's just he's got a strange accent in that show.
Yeah, wait a minute. I'm gonna find the because we can't say that and not play it. What's his name again? Alan Cummings. Cumming. Moira. Here we go. This one. Let me just go and play it.
It's the way. Is it dollars that he says?
Yeah. Listen to. You can hear Moira from Schitt's Creek in this.
Give you the chance to add more money to the prize pot, which currently stands at $75,000.
Oh my God, Dad, come here, Alexa. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
It's brilliant, and they use exactly the same things, aren't they? Like it's the same activities, the same games, the same tasks.
Yeah. So literally seeing that clip has made me want to watch the US show now.
Yeah, I've heard mixed things because, like Sarah said in the chat, it's half of it are reality TV show veterans, and they're raising money for charity, whereas the other half are members of the public. But yeah,
I'm not sure how I feel about that. I like the UK show is just completely sort of random members of the public, and it's also a really diverse mix, I will say. It's not just here loads of hot Love Islandy people. It's like people of all ages.
There's one hot guy.
Is there?
Yeah, and the UK one. Yeah,
I don't know about that.
Owen, is it Owen? No, what's his name? I can't remember.
Matt. Did you mean Matt?
Oh no, he was quite hot, wasn't he? No, the one that at the end.
You like the one with the tight trousers.
Very tight trousers.
Obviously.
Very tight trousers. And muscles.
But yeah, it's a really diverse mix of people who are all kind of nobodies. So they've got nothing to sort of lose, which is really nice. It's not just like here are a load of attractive people.
Yeah.
It's a really diverse mix. But then it's also interesting to see how people's opinions like come into play and like prejudices and like, it's a great show basically. I think anyone who likes games, really, a bit of video games or any kind of game, I think it's a proper game show as a reality show, which is great.
The one thing I remember, the last time I really enjoyed a new reality show, but it's complete trash, is Coach Trip. And it was like the first 2 seasons of that where they had people who were, a hugely diverse mix. They'd have like a gay couple, there'd be like a really old couple, there'd be, brothers and sisters, or there'd be partners. That was a really big mix. And then it became like, hey, can we turn this into kind of hot people on a coach who have to go and do water-themed activities in Spain? Yeah, it changed.
Just let the nobodies have their moment.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's all we need.
Exactly.
We like a nobody.
We do. And I think that game I mean, it definitely doesn't benefit any one type more than the other, I don't think.
What, as in traitor or faithful?
Yeah, like, well, those, I think people, like, like, their age or their intelligence or anything like that, that didn't really have that much of an effect at all. I think everybody was pretty equal.
Yeah. Anyway, go watch it. It's great. We watched pretty much all of it in like a week.
And please let us know what you think as well, because everybody that's finished it just wants to talk about how good it is. So yeah, please do, and let us know how the US one is in the end. Yeah.
The worst thing these shows do is recruit influencers to be on them. Exactly. Exactly.
Then
I hate that.
Then it goes down the pan.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued when Big Brother comes back later this year in the UK, because ITV are doing it. But ITV...
That means it'll be trashy.
ITV also are doing Love Island. But they're also doing something great, like Dancing on Ice. Which we need to...
I would rather watch Love Island than Dancing on Ice.
Well, you will be watching Dancing on Ice. We need to catch up because we missed an episode. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, Cedar said the US one will be inferior, I'm sure. They usually are. I'm trying to think of a time when the US version is better than the UK one. Like of a reality show or
in all honesty, I think it just depends which one you see first. Because if you see one first, that's your sort of defining experience of it. And then it kind of changes if you see elsewhere.
Yeah, I've heard like The Office and Queer as Folk. I didn't watch the US one. But the UK one was really like just a few episodes, really.
That's true.
US Drag Race is better than UK Drag Race. Would you agree?
It's different.
It's longer. The UK one's longer. It's more than 40 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. We like an hour-long show without adverts. That's true.
Naked and Afraid. Do ITV make any good shows? Coronation Street.
Said no one ever.
Yeah, I think it's obviously aimed at different markets. I don't know, this season of Drag Race, I know it's really short, so it's kind of upset people, but I'm just don't really care too much about it.
It's been 2 episodes, Ben.
Yeah, and I just don't care.
Or 3, actually.
I'll watch it, but I don't really care.
Does anyone care?
Yeah.
Like, do you just watch it because it's fun and entertaining and then just ignore toxicity online?
I like gay shit, says Gemma, yeah.
We all love gay shit, Gemma. That's why we're here.
Yeah. That's what we're here for. Anyway, speaking of gay shit, we're here to talk about video games.
That's true.
What video games have you been playing this week, Eduardo?
Well, speaking of gay shit, I have not been playing any more Persona 4.
Oh, can you say, Carrie Ann says, America tried to redo Doctor Who and it turned out bad. I mean, that sounds like a very faithful adaptation of it.
Wow. I've never watched Doctor Who, so
It's
I can't
terrible.
possibly comment.
Oh, it's awful.
I have not played any more Persona 4. I had a bit of a rant about it last week, so either you were here or you can go back and listen to it if you're interested. But yeah, Persona 4 has really, really, really bad gay representation and trans representation and misogyny, which I have written an article about, which will be up tomorrow. So I won't talk any more about it. But basically, not playing that has completely thrown me, because that's like a 60, 70 hour RPG. And I was planning to play that over the next couple of weeks. And I've now decided that actually I don't really want to play it because I just feel a bit uncomfortable playing it. So I now
well done.
I know that is a first for me, because I usually like to finish. And I now don't really know what to play. I sat at the weekend and was like, I've got a bit of a JRPG hole, and I don't know what to fill it with. And you know that feeling where you're looking at your back catalogue like, I don't know what to play. And I started things and didn't really know what I was in the mood for.
Resident Evil 4.
I started Resident Evil 4. Well, not started, I continued with it. And then was like, I've played this before. I'm not in a horror mood. How about Persona 5? I played well over 100 hours of that, I Resurrect, and I love it. I think it's great. But Persona 4 just did not live up to 5 for me at all.
It's a game of its time, Ed.
It was. Got to wait for the Resi 4 remake, exactly. And that's why I wanted to replay the original, because I never finished it. And I just can't be arsed. I'm not in the mood to play that. I started playing Live Alive, thinking, oh, that's a JRPG and it's quite short. And that just didn't really grab me. I think it's got potential, but I might go back to it another time. Then I started The Witcher 3, because that's got the update. And I thought, oh, I wonder what the graphics are like. And I played that for about 10 minutes and then thought...
How were the graphics?
The graphics were very nice.
Good.
It was a clear upgrade from PS4, but also a much better frame rate. But then I was like, oh, the beginning of this is really slow and it's got lots of exposition and it's another like 80-hour game and I can't be bothered. So what I then did was I loaded up Elden Ring and I started playing that again. And now I really like Elden Ring and I just want to keep playing it and do another playthrough.
Are you playing a game and enjoying it, Ed?
I'm playing a game and enjoying it, and that doesn't happen very often.
Just do that.
But I've already put like 110 hours in, and now
the last
I'm
week?
playing it again. Well, no,
okay.
And now I'm playing it again. I put about 7 hours into Sunday. So I was playing it Sunday afternoon, and then the last couple of nights, and I'm whipping through it so much quicker than I did the first time. Because the first time was very much you're taking your time, you're exploring, you're worried about big enemies, you're trying to learn boss patterns. And this time, I'm like, oh, I know where to go. I just do that, do all the key points, go to the boss, kill it first time, move on. And I'm like, this is great. Like, this is really fun.
Imagine Ed talking about enjoying a game. I know
Right?
this is like, look at this, he's even smiling. You're even smiling talking about a video game.
I know, shock horror.
Well.
So... yeah, I'm having a great time playing it. I'm playing as a melee character instead of a magic character. And actually, of all the talk of magic's much easier, do you know what? Melee's easier. Like, you hit things with a sword twice and they die. It's much easier. This is very questionable.
Sorry, yeah, for anyone listening.
It is a pinky, creamy heart stain on the hoodie that definitely looks like Coom.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm playing Elden Ring at the moment, and I really like it.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. But yeah, somebody asked, is Fire Emblem out on Friday? Yes. And I got an updated email today. An email today saying that my delivery date has been updated from Saturday to Friday.
Hey, so actual release date.
Yeah, so I don't think I'll end up finishing Xenoblade before then. So I'm probably going to put Xenoblade on pause for a little bit.
Well, this is the other thing, because I said I had a JRPG hole to fill, and Xenoblade Chronicles is just the game to fill that hole. But I thought, no, I'll wait for Ben to finish it. And now you're not even going to finish it.
Probably not. Just go. You play it. I'll let you use it.
Well, I'll just steal it from you then.
Yeah. I mean, I found a website that explains every chapter in like really good detail of Xenoblade. So when I take a little break from it, I go back and I just read that again and kind of familiarize myself with the story. So I'll just do that. But when Fire Emblem comes out, I want to devote a lot of time to that because I love Fire Emblem. I love the story and I love the the relationships that you can build in there. But honestly, I know this is not necessarily for you. The tactics and the actual battles were so fun and so enjoyable and really, really rewarding when you got it right. That I want, and then this game apparently, reading reviews, then Fire Emblem Engage has apparently improved even more on that. In fact, way more on that, and the social aspects the story aspects taken a bit of a hit, it seems. But the fact that these battles are just really well done, I am all into that, and I'm going to get balls deep into that game when it comes out on Friday.
I guess we'll talk more about Fire Emblem next
I'm working
week.
from home. My lunch break's going to be great.
You won't be working at all.
I will.
I will be.
I will.
I will be watching you. Like, Benjamin,
I will be.
do some work.
I've got lots of work to do.
Earn your salary.
I've got lots of work to do.
I've been wanting to do another playthrough of Fire Emblem Three Houses for forever, and just haven't got around to it.
So good,
and
that game.
maybe I will at some point when I again find a game that I actually enjoy. One of the things I like though is the fact that it's 3 houses, it's 3 paths, it's 3 stories, and well, there's 4. And I've only played it once, so I've only experienced one of those, and I really want to go back and play through it again. And I think the only thing that, maybe this is a good thing because it means you do one playthrough and that's that. But Engage, from what I've read, it only has one story. It's very linear, and the story, social stuff of it is not as expansive as Three Houses, but the combat is better. So I guess it depends what you're after in a Fire Emblem game.
I know it's been a few years, but it just seemed quite sudden that this game's come out. Like, for me, Fire Emblem is one of the big IPs for Nintendo, but I don't think it actually is it?
It is in Japan, and over in the West it hasn't been, but I think it was popular on the DS.
Yeah.
I've got the GameCube game, which I literally played
on
about
mobile
5 hours of and then never played again, and I should probably go back to that. But Three Houses is the game that has really kicked off the franchise.
Yeah.
So I think from now on we're probably going to get more Fire Emblem.
Yeah. Ishrak says, yeah, because it's boring. You play Call of Duty.
And FIFA.
Get in the bin.
Pipe down.
Jigbo says it got better after Awakening, which was their make or break for the franchise. Which was the one where isn't the one where that's going to disappear when the Wii U eShop goes, or the Wii eShop disappears? Isn't the one where there are two versions of the game and then it gives you a third version if you've bought them, but you can only get the third version online or something like that? There's a weird situation where people are not going to be able to. Oh, is that Fates? Yeah, and I heard that. Wait, there's a way that, like, apparently because of the eShops and stuff, or I don't know, but I just remember reading where that game cannot be kind of fully played anymore.
Oh,
or it won't.
Sad times.
But I will not go and. Well, I'm sure someone in the chat knows a lot more about it than I do. Oh, is it a 3DS game? Actually, yes, it was, because I played it a bit on 3DS and I enjoyed it, but I was kind of playing on the way to work and I didn't want to get my DS out.
Fair. Yeah, don't get your DS out on the
train.
On the train.
For the lads. Yeah.
Well, that's what you will be playing, but what have you been playing this week?
Not much. What about you?
Great. Let's move on.
No, I've been going through my playthrough at Final Fantasy 14. I've unlocked the first dungeon, done some guild tests. Love it. I love Final Fantasy 14. And
are you actually enjoying A Realm Reborn?
Yeah, but I've only really just kind of started it. By the way, somebody, I don't know who it was, liked a tweet, just a random kind of trolley account, liked a tweet of mine from 2019 where I've said that A Realm Reborn, it was like hot take, A Realm Reborn is really boring and shite.
That's not a hot take. That is correct.
But I'm like, oh, I said that in 2019. Somebody just randomly liked it. I don't know what they were doing. Would they just type my name in with Final Fantasy and it popped up or
Someone's
something?
Stalking you.
Being stalked, yeah.
You are being stalked. I would delete that.
I deleted it. But yeah. But now I'm going back to it. I'm like, you know what? I am really enjoying it. But I think as well, it's because of the community part of it. The fact I'm streaming it. The fact I'm sticking to the main story. So I'm not going off and then going back to it and going, I can't remember exactly what it's all about. That's making it a lot more enjoyable. But like I said, I've only just started. I've just done 2 streams now of it. Got the first dungeon, unlocked guild tests. I'm doing side stuff off stream or with some like extra streams. I'm leveling up some gathering classes.
Gathering.
Yes.
And what does that entail?
I'm a botanist. Couldn't pronounce it correctly this time.
Good.
Not a botanist. I'm also a logger, which I don't know I can't remember what name that is. Woodworker or something.
Timberman.
And I'm also a fisher. And I'm probably going to, I'm going to be a miner. ER.
I was like, say that carefully.
Yeah, I'm going to be a miner.
Miner?
And I'm just going to make a little bit of money by selling stuff and leveling those. I'm really enjoying just kind of relaxing and going through it slowly. But yeah, the actual, like the main story quest, saving that for stream, it's enjoyable. I know as well how good it gets later on. But
as Yuffie says, you're studying plants while chopping them down.
You don't actually chop down the trees because the trees don't disappear. They just become non-harvestable for a short length of time.
Well, that's very good. I also was playing some Final Fantasy 14 this week, I remembered.
You did while I was streaming.
Yeah, but I'm slowly getting through Stormblood. And I am determined to push through, so I will also be playing it regularly.
Brilliant. I wonder if I'll end up overtaking you.
I hope not, but probably.
We will see. We'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I've not really played anything else. I've not really played much Destiny either this week. A little bit.
This is good though, Ben. You're focusing on one thing and just making sure that you're getting good at it and enjoying it.
I don't know about getting good at it.
Yeah,
but,
I don't know about that either, but maybe you're enjoying it.
I am enjoying it,
Good.
and Fire Emblem will take up my off-stream time after Friday, so it'll mainly be Final Fantasy on stream and that off-stream. But I'll let you know next week what Fire Emblem's like.
Nice. I
All
look
right.
forward to hearing your thoughts.
Good. I should hope so. That's what you do.
Nice.
Right. Okay. Shall we go into the gaming news?
Now let's talk about Discord. What have people been playing?
Sorry. Oh, it's usually what
Don't
I
forget the people.
Oh, I would never forget the people. By the way, what you should do when you don't know what game to play, do you know what you should play?
What?
Frog Detective.
I mean, it's on my list,
Oh.
and I would like to go through and play that. They're on Game Pass, right?
No.
No.
I think I bought it for like £3.
I'll steal your Steam then.
Okay.
Fine.
Take my thunder. All right then. So go on, tell us what are the listeners now? Brutal Brander.
Brutal Brander says, as per usual, I'll answer this question with a game I haven't played myself, but I've watched someone play on the YouTubes, that rival streaming platform. How dare. This week's obsession is good pizza, great pizza. It's a cute indie game about pizza. Bit like Papers, Please or Potion Craft, you need to watch what people order, tell you, and respond by making the correct choices and pizzas. There's a cute little storyline, you can save up to decorate your little restaurant, and the art style is very relaxing. Now, spoiler, we clicked on the Steam link for this and we're like, this looks really fun.
Yeah.
So I think we might actually do a quick look at this next week.
I love
it looks like some of the jokes in the screenshots are just really silly.
It's our humour. It's like, oh, I've just had a really bad car accident and my leg's hanging off, so obviously I want an onion pizza. And like, okay, right. But you can reply with, okay, or what? Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. So I think, we might do a quick look next week.
Yes. I mean, also, it's a food game, and we know how we both feel about food.
Yes. I do like pizza as well.
I like making food. So yeah, I think that could be a fun one to play through. John says, I've played a lot of games recently. I picked up The Devil in Me. I was meaning to get it, but never got around to it when it was released late last year. But wow, what a great, fantastic, spooky game. After playing that, I picked up House of Ashes.
No, House of
There's a lot.
Asses.
So there's also not a lot of punctuation, so I'm trying to read it. I picked up House of Ashes, the third game in the Dark Pictures anthology, and when I found out Ashley Tisdale was in it, I knew I had to save my queen. During all that, I was playing The Outer Worlds. I can never remember if that's Worlds or Wilds and which way round they are.
Outer Wilds is the relaxing, weird puzzle one. The Outer Worlds is Fallout in Space.
So this is Fallout in Space. I tend to get very overwhelmed with RPG games, but this one just hit different. The humour was superb, the world locations were different and fun, and the characters top tier. Have you played that?
Yeah, a little bit of it. I played it. I think I've done like a third of it, and enjoyed it a lot, and then moved on to something different.
Yeah, I quite liked it, but it's quite short compared to other Fallout games, and I was quite happy to finish it.
Yeah,
but it's definitely funny. It's worth a go. Sarah Kay has been playing Pokemon Let's Go Eevee.
Oh, that's a great game.
Not sure that a review is really needed for this one, but it's my first ever Pokemon game, and I promised some people I would play it, so here we are. I'm only about an hour in. It's cute. I definitely think if Pokemon had been a thing I knew about when I was a kid, I would have had 100 plushies. Yeah. So I think I'll like discovering them, although having watched friends play various Pokemon games, I am more familiar with many of them now.
And it's great with the Let's Go ones because it's just the 150. It's a really useful... it's a really useful game to get into it, like we all did most of us did as a child. Yeah. It's like 150, you can remember all of them. You had all the Pokemon cards, you had the Pokemon, the Pokemon game, the sticker book, whatever, you knew all those 150.
You know the types and what beats what, and you just like, as a kid, you just know it. And now I'm like, hang on, there's over 1,000, what? What's this one? My first reaction is that I don't really understand why people are so obsessed. Wow. Like, you just run around throwing balls at them. To be fair, actually, you don't battle them in Let's Go, do you?
No, that's why I actually really liked that. Because you just got to get your hand action right to catch the ball, throw the balls.
I'm glad... Well, some people won't see your hand action there if you're listening on a podcast.
Throw balls.
But I also understand that Let's Go is the most basic of the games, so there isn't much to it. I will say I get super annoyed when you're trying to run around and the Pokemon or other characters in the game just jump in your path and you have to stop and have dialogue with them. I'd rather just run around and do my thing and talk to them when I feel like it, much like real life. That is a mood.
You would hate Temtem. Because Temtem's like that, but like with then difficult long battles each time. And it's a really long route to get from one place to another. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played the Let's Go ones.
Oh, yeah. My story with Let's Go is...
You've got a story?
I do.
Oh.
I got Let's Go because it was the latest big game that came out at the time, and I bought myself a nice Pro controller so I could relax with it and play on that, and no support for it.
Oh.
So I was like, great, because I've just finished Zelda on the little kind of Joy-Con grip, so my fingers were doubling over on each other. And then, yeah, Let's Go came out and thought, okay, I'll treat myself to a Pro controller, and yeah, fuck my drag.
You've got a swing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Shocking. Clues has been playing some World of Warcraft, and then had a long post in Vent.
Oh yeah,
So,
go on then. I'm interested to...
Well, it's a very long post.
You can answer.
Okay.
I'll read. Like a water.
These are serious topics that is happening, and I'm sorry with butting in with a rant about a game, World of Warcraft. The game itself is fine, fun, and as expected. The community and the people, less than fine, and extremely frustrating. A new expansion means new raids and new dungeons, and World of Warcraft has a practice of opening up the easiest difficulty of raid to all players a wing a time over the course of a month. That means anyone can join in and experience a raid without a predetermined group at any time they want, much like the standard in Final Fantasy XIV, except the people.
Not the people.
So naturally, going into these raids, there'll be people new to the raids and experience and probably don't have much experience. In Final Fantasy XIV, the raid goes slow or at a reasonable pace to boost everyone's confidence, and people take time to explain stuff. It is normal for others to cheer you on if you are new to the raids and everyone is just like, you can do this next time. In WoW, this is what was said verbatim, and this is a quote. What the fuck are you wasting my time? Can't you just watch a 3-minute video on the strategy on how to fight this boss?
And then a very offensive term.
Okay,
Yeah.
which we won't repeat.
Later, don't repeat that.
Wow. Yes, so that was spoiled, and yes, I'm not repeating that. That's horrendous. Chat was full of that last bit, which is a nasty curse, and 3 people whispered me that privately, despite they got voted out by the entire raid group. Some people want to experience the raid blind and learn on the fly because that's what gaming is. If I want to watch a YouTube video, I might as well watch the whole game there and not play.
Yeah.
I've been with the game since day one, and it's gotten more toxic and poisoned. This may be a small minority of players, but they are loud and they are everywhere in the game. The game itself has a dungeon mode called Mythic Plus. It is the same dungeon but a tad more difficult, and like Diablo, the enemies have affixes and additional abilities. Oh, and it is also timed. Initially, it was fun, and putting the run against a timer made it more challenging and upped the ante. But years of this practice made everyone, the tanks especially, treat everything like a speed run. They go in and pull the whole dungeon before you can say hi, scold and berate anyone who is not able to keep up, and then quit the dungeon if the team is too slow or right after the loot drops. This happens with 8 out of 10 tanks I've played with. It does not make for an enjoyable gaming experience, and this, unfortunately, is fostered by their system, and to be honest, there is no way to revert that culture. It's gotten so bad that I think I might quit the game for good. Not because WoW is a bad game, it's a great game. The people, however, are the worst.
And then Westmanovich replied with, I quit playing World of Warcraft in Shadowlands because of that. People were just toxic and really really mean against each other. And that's sad because, in Final Fantasy XIV, it's so rare that happens. In fact, whenever I go and play like a brand new... Up until recently, they've added this new mechanic so you can go in with NPCs, rather than actually play with other people. But when I'm going and doing a dungeon for the first time, in the past, I've always gone in with new people, and I literally will stay at the very beginning. Hi, this is my first time doing this. And the vast majority of times, before you come to a boss encounter, they'll just stop, and you know that they're typing out the instructions on how to do it and how to beat it, and they'll be like, okay, the first phase you need to hit the snowball so it hits the thing in the middle, and then the second phase you do that. And you'll read it and go, oh, I kind of understand what you're saying, and then you'll probably die a couple of times. People don't really mind, because I don't know, people are just... The community in Final Fantasy XIV feels like they're happy to teach people because they love boasting about how great the game is. So when people come in and they're dying a few times, it's like, oh no, don't worry, I'll help you. And they want most people want everyone to have a good and enjoyable time playing it. I think it's because of, as well, Final Fantasy XIV is always kind of played second fiddle to WoW. So it's always been like let's try and push this game and try and make it even more successful because it is a really enjoyable place to play. And I think that has definitely helped the positivity.
See, I've never played WoW, so my only comparison is playing some of Final Fantasy 14. I will say playing as a healer can sometimes be difficult because some tanks do love to run off, and then you're like, okay, I haven't learned the dungeon yet, and give me a chance, and then they get annoyed at you. And I've definitely had that in Final Fantasy 14. But I do think, and I don't know if WoW works the same way, but I do think Final Fantasy 14 with your party, you do very much have specific roles that you have to work together as a team. And also, if you quit, then you get booted or something, or like you can't quit a duty in Final Fantasy 14, right?
You can, but I think you get a penalty.
Yeah, you get a penalty for it. So it sort of pushes you to work together as a team and to stick with it, even if you're doing badly. And you can't just have one person runs ahead speed running because your party will die. And I don't know if WoW is the same as that. Or if it's easier to work more individually despite being in a team.
And yeah, if I can say it's like run with a guild and you don't get that issue. But it's like that shouldn't be an issue. You know, you shouldn't have to work with a guild. You shouldn't have to rely on other people, you know, from that guild to work together and to help you run through it or whatnot. Not everybody is a member of a guild. But you want to take part in these activities that maybe require help from other people. I mean, simple thing is there should not be toxic people on there.
And as a new player, I maybe wouldn't know what a guild is or know the people in the guild or who was, you know, unless you've got friends that play. And you know, you hear stories of people meeting others in online games and making friends and all this sort of stuff, which is lovely. But not everyone, I think, gets that experience, and sometimes you have to start with just playing with randoms, and that's not going to be a good introduction to the game.
Say that's like life. It shouldn't be life. You know, they manage not to do that in like many other games. You can't just say, oh, you just have to accept that there's going to be something abusive.
Yeah,
like that
this is
shouldn't be
something
acceptable.
Something Blizzard should do is like onboarding new players and giving them the best possible experience to stick with it. Yeah, I don't know. I've heard such mixed things about WoW recently. Like a lot of this community stuff, but equally that the new expansion is really good and has good representation and is worth playing. So a real mix of opinions on WoW at the moment.
Yeah, shame. Well, Final Fantasy 14's there, and I've done lots. I've only run with like my guild or the free company, when the game first came out. And I had like a close community, but I've not had a close free company. I've managed to do the raids and stuff in there without having that, and never once encountered abuse. You don't need, it's...
No one should ever be abused in a game.
Yeah, there's no justification for it, and if I just hate that mentality. It's like that, oh, you'd have never survived down, you know, in the Xbox Live lobbies. It's like, well, they were atrocious then, and no matter what level of abuse there is online, one out of 100, 1% level of abuse is unacceptable. Just because it used to be at 100% back in the day on Xbox Live doesn't excuse the fact that 1% is also bad as well.
And also this comes down to the companies making these games that should be doing more to manage that community and support people. And after all, this is Blizzard, and we know all the stuff that's happened at that company the last few years. Maybe that mentality bleeds over into the community as well. They should be doing more to protect people.
Anyway, Mr. Wibble.
But what else have people been playing? Mr. Wibble, I've finished Yucko's Island Express. Can recommend. The main story took me about 6 hours, so it's nice and manageable. Still lots of things to finish if I want to 100% it, so who knows? The PC version comes with a randomizer, which might be a nice challenge for some time in the future. That's cool that it comes with a randomizer. Like...
Yeah, you don't have to add it extra, like when
usually
Pokemon...
that's like a mod or something.
Yeah, you have to mod it.
Nice. I'm now playing Asterigos Curse of the Stars, which is an action RPG. It's a weird mix between God of War type play, Immortals Phoenix Rising, and Souls-like games. Getting used to the combat after a bumpy start, but it's not as fluid as, for instance, Elden Ring. The story is entertaining, if a bit generic fantasy based on Roman mythology. That's cool, though. I've played like 90 minutes, so more to come. Well, we look forward to hearing more about that next week then.
Yeah.
Nice. Riley is still a bit obsessed with Final Fantasy 14. And Ravi Lavi has also been playing Final Fantasy 14. Actually made an ult on the new NA server this morning to replay the story from the Uldar side. Nice.
Yeah, and I didn't realise that Ravi actually is on EU as well, so you can pop in and say hello and join us if you fancy it. If you fancy some nice lag on it.
Jackie's been playing Bloons TD6. What does the TD stand for?
Total Destruction. Maybe, actually.
I don't know. Bloons 6. It's about all I've had energy for since getting COVID. It really is easy to get sucked.
Tower Defense.
Tower Defense.
Yeah.
It really is easy to get sucked, is what Jackie says.
Wow.
And spend hours playing. I think it's missing a sucked in there.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, more Bloons. I'm still tempted to try it at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not. I played a little bit and it wasn't for me. Although maybe it was on mobile. I don't know if it was. It was the one on Apple Arcade. I just find it incredibly stressful. I don't understand all these people that don't find it really. Yeah, which Bloons was it? Bloons. I think it was TD. Yeah, TD6. Oh wait, is it on? Oh, I played Bloons TD Battles.
That looks very different.
I think that's on the Apple Arcade one, right?
No idea.
Bloons TD6 apparently costs £6 on here. But I don't remember. I don't know. Yeah, it seems to be paid.
There's a lot of Bloons games.
Yeah.
Gemma. I don't want to alarm anyone, but there is an even more engaging Pomodoro game called Legend of the Pomodoro. Uh-oh. There is no Tomato the Duck, but there are many tomatoes and very classic RPG vibes. Pomo Farm has found its match. Nice.
That's the thing with 25 minutes and 5-minute breaks, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so.
I googled it. I'm sure it's like that. And then like a break after 4 hours or something.
Then Ninja Koala. I haven't played this game, but technically if you own it, you don't play it either. Interesting. Placid Plastic Duck Simulator is a game I was extremely surprised with. It's a game where you have a pool and every 5 or so minutes you get a new duck drop in just to float above your pool with the others. All ducks have a different theme or an aesthetic and have interactions between them, e.g. the clown duck is a squirter. Oi oi.
Yeah,
if they happen to spray the flower pot duck, the flower pot gets a flower. That's cute. A surprisingly exciting and relaxing game where you do nothing. Side note, you can name the ducks, so on Twitch it was exciting everyone in chat being assigned a duck. That is quite cute.
Yeah. We have some heated discussion in the chat. Glinsky Duel says, I've started Tales of Arise. After 3 or 4 hours, I realised there was a button for basic attacks, which made battle flow a lot easier. That's a great thing with Xenoblade. I think it's just auto attack, and then you do your basic ones afterwards. Did they not have that in Tales of Arise?
Yeah, you do your basic attacks, and then there's your arts, which are your sort of special moves.
Yeah. But yeah, no, just to run the debate that's going in chat, like, there should not be a freedom to say whatever you want in a game, and you can't. And just saying, "Oh well, I'm not offended, so other people should just not be offended." That's very easy and good for you that you're not offended by comments, but there are people that are. And yes, obviously there is a line where you're like, well, you know where you draw it, and for you might be really far, and incredibly offensive stuff might be the only stuff that offends you, but it isn't for others. So you've got to balance that out and find where the line is, and if the line is different from where you have it, if they say that something, I don't know, I'm not going to play a game and then expect and just be like, oh, you know what, yeah, some people just swear at me and some people get really angry and curse me on there, like that's to me isn't fun, and I will stop playing a game. And the thing is, these companies, they want people to play the games. They don't want people to turn away from it because it's just such an abusive and toxic environment. So they're happy to, put in these filters. But it seems like WoW has gone past this, and for some reason they don't really care, and people are turning away from it.
I think it's just about having a base level that is, protecting as many people as possible. And some people have different views around that, but there needs to be at least a base level of protection and support, I think. So yeah.
Exactly. But if you are not offended by that stuff and you enjoy the heat of it, great. I'm glad you're enjoying the game. but there are the fact that there are people turning away from it because it gets really toxic. And this, I'm not saying that this is what you said, but that you do see people online going like, "Oh, it's just words; they can't hurt you." They can. People, do awful things to themselves because of things that have been said to them. So, the old "Oh, sticks and stones" motto might have been a popular, idea in the 60s and stuff, but nowadays, no, we take mental health seriously, and words do affect that.
Indeed. Shall we talk about the news?
Yes.
What's going on in the headlines? Are you doing a jingle?
News. There you go.
Wow, that was terrible.
Yeah.
So last week after the podcast, we were about to play High on Life.
Yes.
And but it didn't work very well.
It didn't, and I don't know if that's something to do with my PC or not, because I also had issues. Well, I found it where I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna be streaming. Like when I do Final Fantasy, I'm gonna stream it through the PS5 because it's so comfortable playing with a controller. That's another thing I didn't mention. Final Fantasy 14 with a controller is really, really good. The only thing that you can't do very well is obviously quickly type in the text box, or click on things on a map that like require a little mouse precision. But I've got a really, really cheap Bluetooth mouse and keyboard that costs like £20, if that. Which I'm just going to... And you shove it into the PlayStation and it immediately recognizes it and you can use it. I wouldn't use it, obviously, for movement controls and that. I mean, I'm sure you can. But just having that where, if you do go into a dungeon and you want to say hello to people or you want to click on something on a map, just having that nearby really, makes your life a lot easier.
Nice. But yes, we didn't play High on Life.
No, sorry, yeah.
Because it was being choppy and weird, and we decided that we wouldn't. And I'm quite happy about that decision, because pretty soon after that, the news broke that Justin Roiland, who created the game, he's the co-creator of Rick and Morty. He heads up Squanch Games, which created High on Life. He's been charged with domestic violence from an incident from 2020. So it's stuff that happened a while ago. I'm sure it'll probably end up getting settled out of court or whatever else. But since then, a lot of stories have come out about him. Some pretty awful DMs and messages and things. So...
Yeah, I've seen a few like really creepy DMs.
Yeah. So he's not really a very nice person. And this is literally the most popular game on Game Pass at the moment, and loads of people are playing
I've heard
it.
it's to avoid.
But I think he is to avoid, and the game is to avoid.
Yeah.
So yes.
Just after Volusia's feeling a bit guilty because she's like, "Yeah, highlights hilarious and disturbing. Our chat will be howling." Then well then, sorry, Volusia, didn't mean to drop you in there. Yeah, I mean it's not to everybody's taste. I think I'd have probably found it a bit funnier than you. Yeah. And the Channel 5 guy, Andrew... Oh, what's the Channel 5? To me, Channel 5 is the place of Fort Boyard and the Pepsi chart and things like that. I don't know...
What?
Fort Boyard?
No idea.
Melinda Messenger? We've had this discussion.
Oh, I know who she is.
Exactly, yeah.
I didn't watch the show.
Whoa. It was like the Crystal Maze, but not.
Oh.
It was great.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if you were thinking of playing High on Life, probably don't. There are a lot of stories going around, so be aware of him.
Yeah, there were tigers in Fort Boyard. But yeah, no, Justin Roiland, I feel, even if this doesn't really go anywhere, his reputation has tanked.
Yes. Well,
which I've never watched.
Maybe won't with certain people, but hey.
I never watched Rick and Morty. I feel like I'm probably enjoy it if I did.
I don't think you're missing out.
Okay, all right. Right.
More controversy.
Oh.
This time with Wizards of the Coast.
Which I didn't realise that's the company behind D&D.
Yes, that is exactly what this is about. Which I don't know a huge amount about, but I know there are a lot of D&D and tabletop fans in chat and listen. But essentially, Wizards of the Coast, they have what they call their open gaming license, which is essentially the basis of Dungeons and Dragons. Someone in chat is probably going to tell me that I'm saying all this wrong, but I'm going to go with it for now. It's basically the basis of Dungeons and Dragons that can be used for other third-party games, be they tabletop games or video games or books and whatever else. And essentially, what they're trying to do is to change that open gaming license to monetize third-party content because they want to make more money. And they, from what I understand, I think they were talking about doing this, but they haven't set it in stone. But it leaked, and there's been a huge backlash against it because it's just them trying to be greedy, and D&D has just gone off, and so many people are involved in it and use that as their basis that suddenly they're going to have to pay all this money, and it sucks. And the company's responded in a statement, but it's basically a complete mess at the moment in the world of D&D.
And put Gary in the chat. It's like, oh, my D&D game for tonight has just been cancelled. Did they require like £100 per entry, to cover all the costs for it? Or are they doing it? They released a statement at 5 p.m. today. Oh, they did. Update. Is that this one?
No, because that story's on the 13th of Jan.
Oh, well, okay.
In which case, what's the new update then, Liz? Because I actually haven't seen that.
Yeah, please post this update about.
Because then you had Paizo that make a different game, Pathfinder, that's based on D&D, and
oh, here we go. New statement from Gizmodo. Do we like Gizmodo?
Sure, let's go with Gizmodo.
Blah 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 blah. They have just okay, here we go. We'll click on the official one. Oh, 3 hours ago. Here we go. Would you like to be very briefly read?
Hi, I'm Kyle
That's
Brink,
not brief, just
the
next
executive
one.
producer on D&D. It's my team that makes the game we all play.
I don't.
He loves D&D. Boom, 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 boom. Firstly, let me start with an apology. We are sorry we got it wrong.
Okay.
Our language and requirements in the draft OGL were disruptive to creators and not in support of our core goals of protecting and cultivating an inclusive play environment and limiting the OGL to TTRPGs. Then we compounded things by being silent for too long. We hurt fans and creators when more frequent and clear communications could have prevented so much of this.
I mean, yeah.
Starting now, we're going to do this in a better way, more open and transparent with our entire community of creators, with the time to iterate, to get feedback, to improve. If this sounds familiar, it's because it's how we do it for the game itself. So let's do it that way for the OGL too. So 3 bullet points on here's what to expect. On or before Friday, January 20th, we'll share new proposed OGL documentation for your review and feedback, much as we do with playtest materials. After you review the proposed OGL, you'll be able to fill out a quick survey, much like Unearthed Arcana playtest feedback surveys. It will ask you specific questions about the document and include open form fields to share any other feedback you have. The survey will remain open for at least 2 weeks and will give you advance notice before it closes, so that everyone who wants to participate can complete the survey. Then we will compile, analyze, react to, and present back what we heard from you. So, yeah, they are, I guess, at least trying, but I think they've lost a lot of goodwill. I know a lot of people have cancelled their D&D Beyond, I think it's called. There's a subscription. And a lot of people are cancelling that. They don't want to give Wizards their money. And it's just, yeah, it's a mess, basically.
Yeah, did you read this bit? There's a ton of stuff that isn't going to be affected by an OGL update. So today, right now, we'll lay out all the areas that the conversation won't touch. So it won't touch people's video content, the accessories for your own content, non-published work, for instance, contracted services, VTT content, whatever that is, DM's guild content, your OGL, your revenue, and your ownership of your content. So you'll continue to own your content with no license back requirements, which I feel like that's quite a big thing, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay, well, there you go. Breaking news.
There we go. Look at us being on the trend.
Ish breaking. We're 3 hours late, but you know.
Okay, so the next thing I've heard about is the accessibility charity. Is an accessibility charity helping Xbox and PlayStation?
So this isn't news, but it's just a really, really lovely piece that I thought people would be interested in reading, which is an interview that Bertie at Eurogamer has done with Special Effect. And Special Effect is an accessibility charity that they've been involved with Xbox's disability or accessibility controller, and the PlayStation one that was announced a couple of weeks ago. They've been involved in that as well. Yeah, it's a really lovely story about Special Effect and the work that they do. And I know that a lot of people here are advocates for accessibility, as we all should be. So I thought it was just a nice piece, and I wanted to mention that. You can put a link in chat if you want.
I will do. Great.
So yeah, please go read this because it's just a really lovely story about the work they do.
There we are. Now,
but back to the news.
Yes.
Today, the 18th, is the final day of Stadia.
Oh,
Stadia closes, they lots of developers have like moved their games to other platforms so they don't get lost. They've made their Bluetooth controllers available to use on other devices so that they don't get wasted. But then there's this story which I thought was quite fun, which is there's a game called Worm Game, which is basically like Snake, that got added a few days ago. And basically people who are playing the game have been rapidly playing it over the last few days to try and get the top score, because they know that this game will die with Stadia and will never be made again. They'll never have the same leaderboard. So people are just playing this game desperate to try and get to the top spot so that they are immortalized in this game forever, which is just quite funny.
Immortalized until it dies in a couple of hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Exactly.
Oh.
DBD. There have been rumours for a while that Leatherface was going to be taken out of DBD. And that's because the Friday the 13th license, there have been other games that have had problems with the license.
Why is David Guest in it?
Is that a really bad joke?
Yeah. He's Leatherface. You ever seen his face?
Yeah, I've seen his face.
Yeah.
All right, sure. Anyway, this is the Friday the 13th killer. There was a game earlier this week that has been taken off Steam because they've lost the Friday the 13th license, and everyone was looking at DBD thinking, is the same thing going to happen? But it turns out it's not. So Leatherface is not leaving Dead by Daylight and will be staying in it. So
Great.
for anyone who was worried about it, don't be.
Yeah, Liz says they should add Winnie the Pooh instead. They should add like characters that are no longer under license. So yeah, like something like Winnie the Pooh. What else is out of license? Like really old.
Old stuff.
Yeah.
Sherlock. Oh my god, they'd have Sherlock as a survivor.
Isn't it weird that like one type of Sherlock is out of copyright but the other one isn't, or something like that? I read. Like there's a Sherlock that's like a version of him that was created, or he was changed like 20 years later. Oh, it's all of it is out now. Was Jack the Ripper fictional? No. No,
it wasn't.
No. Now there was the Yorkshire Ripper.
Yeah. This is another story I thought was quite funny. This is actually from a Japanese interview from a few years ago, but it's been resurfaced thanks to a translation. And Shigeru Miyamoto, the creator of Mario, said no to a Wario-style Princess Peach. So this was basically working with Camelot, who made Mario Tennis and Mario Golf. And Mario Tennis on the N64 was the first game with Waluigi.
Waluigi.
And they created Waluigi.
Wapeach.
And Waluigi was obviously the sort of Luigi equivalent to Wario and Mario. And yeah, they wanted to make a Wapeach or a Walpeach.
A Wap each.
A Wapeach.
Oh.
And basically Miyamoto said no.
They got Rabid
want to.
Peach, but they have Rabid Peach, and Rabid Peach is the best.
Well, that's different.
Yeah.
Different series. But yeah, so we're never going to get a Wapeach. But there's also Bowsette, if you remember that.
Yeah.
Which is quite funny. So yeah, don't go expecting an evil Peach anytime soon. And
There's plenty of them in heaven.
I bet. And then
As in heaven, the club, not.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
And then another funny one to finish, just because I was very happy with my boss's headline.
I
on this.
loved it.
Marvel's Avengers fans saw about Thor skin without helmet. And the actual story in this is that in Avengers you can buy different skins of all the different characters, and there is a skin that has Thor with his helmet on, and they are now basically they've made another skin which is Thor without his helmet, and they're charging loads of money for it, and people are getting really pissed off.
No, but is he American?
It's he American.
Yeah.
Who's he? Thor?
Yeah.
Well, no,
helmetless Thor skin.
He's the Norse god.
Of course.
I mean, I see what you're going for there, but yeah. Mainly it was just it was just funny to have Thor skin in a headline.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Thor. We're not having a Waluigi Thor. Yeah, he's actually Australian, isn't he? Technically.
Well, Hemsworth is, yeah.
Mm.
But Thor's a Norse god. Does that make him Norwegian?
No, because Norse doesn't mean Norwegian, does it?
Well, no. Oh, I suppose they were Danish as well. Well, they were
Yeah.
Scandinavian, but I'm trying to remember where the Norse...
Circumcision would be very brutal in, Norse Viking era, I bet.
With a massive axe.
Yeah, that probably misses. Ooh. Anyway.
That's a nice point to end, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, use lightning and just burn it off.
Yeah. Yeah. The new Asgard is in Tunsberg, Norway. Yeah, I've been to Tunsberg. I stayed in Tunsberg.
Well, lucky you.
Yeah, it was great. I went to a pub in Tunsberg.
And how expensive was a pint?
£13.
Well, don't go there again.
£13 for a pint. Ooh.
Shocking.
Yeah.
How much?
How much? I know. Bloody hell. I still remember. It was like 5 years ago. I still remember that. Anyway.
Well, let's end on that note, shall we?
Yeah, indeed. All right, then. Go on. Tell the listeners where they can find you.
You can find me at ed_nights on Twitch and on Twitter.
Yeah, and you can find me at Biggest Bennis1 on Twitter and Biggest Bennis on Twitch.
Why did you go high pitch there?
Just to, wake people up.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you can also find us on swappingjoysticks.com with links to YouTube and
Twitter
and Spotify and Apple and wherever else you listen to podcasts.
iTunes. All right. Thanks very much for listening. Have a good day.
See you all next week.
Do it.
Keep swapping.
Bye.